certain things, and then Colossus beat Swarmhost, and then Mutalisk beat Colossus. It's like a circle of
Yeah,
metagame.
circle. I can see that. Just to elaborate here for the viewers. Basically, swarm hosts rape Protoss. Observers, well, we got spore crawlers for that. Oh, it's at your natural, not Zerg natural? Okay, we'll just spread creep over there. It's a really awesome style. It's something that Cats has been very well known for. But people have found an answer. Swarm hosts get fizz up by Colossi. So what happens when you see Colossi? You make Mutalisks. Well, then they're going to make Phoenix. What do? You make Corruptors. So there becomes this really intrinsic kind of shifting thing that goes on. And the beautiful thing about Mutalisks is they always have a place in Protoss ZVP late game because, you may open up Mutalisks but get forced to transition out because he's got a bajillion Phoenix or something like that. Well, early game, you don't have the gas to sustain that. He's going to outproduce you on Phoenix. But, say a big engagement happens. You wipe out most of his height-end count, so he's reproducing Colossi. He doesn't have the money to spend on Phoenix because you haven't been making Mutalisks. You lose 100 supply and then just flood out like 100 supply of Mutalisks.
Hmm.
Well, things get interesting.
Mm. Yeah, that's part of what I like about it for sure. But the next player has been announced. It's going to be Cac. I'm gonna say
Cock.
Cock.
I have no idea. But I want to check their roster real quick. Do you have a copy of their roster?
I can. Yes, I do actually. Teams, Premier Division, and we're checking LaG's roster, correct? Yes, Cac is on the roster.
Okay, cool. Do 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 do.
Do do.
Apparently, sir, you have a Crimson Shin.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Probably because it's got. Do I?
Cock versus Siren. Yeah, it was just something being said in chat.
Oh.
Yeah. They had to watch you for 7 minutes.
Ah,
You were the
true.
only thing moving on screen. But we do have a 2-1 now if you want to update that.
True. True. Um, that was a victory for LaG Gaming.
That's a really big word, Gray Mangoes. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Okay, they want Whirlwind. You want to host?
Sure.
Oh, you don't. And don't forget it's 2-1.
I did check. I just updated that. I think.
Cool. Well, it's delayed, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Ah,
right.
quack. Quack.
Oh, like a duck.
Indeed. Like a duck. Interesting story about ducks, guys. What do you know about duck reproduction?
Nothing.
Everyone should study duck reproduction. Here's why. Biologically, Daffy and Donald are assholes. Just going ahead throwing that out there. Here's why. Duck penises have spikes on them. Duck vaginas have hidden compartments, trapdoors, and their own version of spikes. So the only way ducks can reproduce is via rape. Because it hurts the female because of the spike. And, they don't want that. But if it pulls out, but once it's already in, it rips their stomach out. So biologically, through Darwinism, we have had the evolution of duck penises and duck vaginas into the most scary shit imaginable. Just saying.
Oh, that is very weird.
It is. Everyone should study this because it's a lot more complicated than I just made it sound.
That's slightly terrifying too.
Indeed. Indeed. So, quack. Just saying, bro. Hope you don't have a duck penis.
Unless you want to be ripping stomachs out.
Indeed, sir. I mean, I'm not even going to say that. I was about to say something. uh,
Alright, there we go. Saren is ready. The countdown is starting. Not the start
so I'm
down.
curious if sarin is named after like poisonous gas or not.
I don't know. It could be Serene.
No, no.
You don't think
There's
so?
an E screen.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's
Well,
a U in Quack.
I mean that's very true as well. That's very true as well. But there's a type of poisonous gas called sarin, and I don't know if he misspelled that or not.
Hmm.
Either way, he could be Celtic, because Celtic. No, it's fuck. I hate that word. But yeah, it's a Welsh name. There we go. Let's go with that. Dude, we are like magical, prophetic individuals. You know why?
No.
Because it's lagging hard as hell. Either way, it's a
Yeah, sorry.
ZVP, guys. It's gonna be Whirlwind. So sMi got to choose the map if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? It's
Yes, yes, they did.
yes. So as soon as he chose Whirlwind,
Yes, it
we
is.
should have known it was Zerg player. I'm an observer.
I'm an observer too. Shoot. Uh,
It is.
it is though.
Nothing's changed. So, I mean, why would we not host faster? We can rehost if you like, but it won't change nothing.
Yeah. It was ladder edition, so it's automatically faster. But
Indeed.
yeah. Anyway, why don't you take it away with those introductions? You've done such a good job so far.
Oh, appreciate it, appreciate it. Well, here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, map is Whirlwind. We have a bunch of empty space. Here on the top
There you
right-hand
go.
side
Yeah.
of Whirlwind, we also have empty space. That's going to make it a completely left dominant side of the map. We have on the top left hand side our yellow Zergy McFerguson, named after some awesome poisonous gas wreaking havoc in Syria right now. It's sarin. And here on the bottom left hand side of that very same map, we have our pretty pink Protoss representing Team Latest and Greatest Gaming. It's going to be Quack. Now it's interesting because we've got a pull then gas build out of Saren. So he knows it's a really big map. He knows he's not going to be able to scout whether it's Forge first or Gate first.
Hmm?
So he's taking a Gates first response. Why does he do that? Because he is confident. He wants to stay alive. He knows he's going to win a very late game. He's a Zerg player. He's on Whirlwind. This just makes sense. So he's going to take probably like a 18-21 at the max expansion, where his opponent is actually going for Forge first. He went Forge first, not Nexus first, and that's
Ooh.
huge because we've got a proxy hatch now.
It looks like it's just gonna be the Evo block there.
Indeed, sir.
Cannon. Yep, cannon will be moved to shoot that down, but that will be very annoying and cause a little bit of delay for Quack.
Not only does it cause delay, which is probably its most significant impact, he's making 6 lings right now. He's getting the ling speed as well and is fully pulled off of the extractor. So here's the way this is going to play out. First, the photon cannon is out of position. It cannot defend that ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Second, there are going to be broodlings coming out of that evolution chamber about the time these lings pop out. So the lings are going to, show up and wreak havoc on an already bruised photon cannon. This delays the Nexus even more, and if he can get those into the main, he's going to lose a lot of mining time. Now, it's all going to come down to these 6 lings, so I'm just going to follow them around the map.
It looks like that Evo chamber will go down. The photo cannon, as you said, has been bruised by them, but will it be enough for these lings to actually take it out or run past, I guess?
Well, he's actually just targeting it there with 3 lings. I think this is a little sloppy. There's not a very good wall off here.
Mm-hmm.
A probe is not enough alone, and now there's a zealot there to defend as well. He still has the option to go in, but he's just playing it safe. I like that decision. Here's what is good about this decision. You see players like Cats who would have run that shit right on in, killed the Nexus or the cannon. No problem. Great decision. What he did, though, was force an extra cannon, which means that Nexus was even further delayed. The cannon was canceled. He does not know that, but that's going to help him if he chooses aggression. And in fact, I don't think that's a tight wall. I think he could get those links past it. But even with that said, he's choosing to drone, getting his own expansion up, probably going to take a third. He's got ling speed. He can basically put a ling anywhere he wants to and just get some idea of where when his opponent's moving out. He's continuing to harass this Forge, checking it for Chrono Boost. He's basically looking at the Cybercore and the Forge for the Chrono Boost because Warp Prism, if it's getting chronoed, and a +1 attack is getting chronoed all at the same time, guess what you do as a Zerg player?
You expand, basically. What do you do? Yeah, there you go. He's expanding, but what else do you do?
Indeed. Well, he did not scout the a chrono on the warp gate or the +1.
Hmm.
If you were to scout those things or scout both of them, you play defensively.
Right.
When he scouts neither of those things, he takes an expansion because he knows there's not a timing attack coming.
Hmm.
He is basically safe because now it's the 7 minute mark. He's just taken his gas back. He's probably going to throw up another gas. He knows he's safe. He is safe until about 10 to 12 minutes, just depending on what kind of tech follow up his opponent's going for. And he'll want to keep poking in with overlords or overseers, which are not in position, unfortunately, to see the gas count and what tech the Protoss goes. There is a Stargate on the way, which means Phoenix rather than Void Rays. And we actually have 4 gases now being taken by Saren. He has his second, third, and fourth all coming. He has a layer going to be started shortly. It's not there yet, but he's a little bit lacking the minerals to do so. But when it comes, he's going to want Mutalisks. The problem is he's going to run into a wall of Phoenix. I want to see how he reacts to that. He's already got the evolution chambers. He can throw the gas somewhere else. I'd be okay with that. But it looks like Mutalisks right now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if the Spire does go down. As you said, it could be anything else pretty much at this point, despite Mutalisk being the favorite option. He is doing a good job of keeping Quack in his base for now, and his Overload spread is decent enough. It's like covering the arc, so that once those Phoenixes do move out, he will see it. There we go. They have been revealed on this Overlord, trying to poke into the natural.
Indeed, sir, indeed. So Grey Mangoes wants to know a little bit more of bad things about Protoss in this matchup. Bad things. Phoenix. Phoenix are very, very bad.
Bad to make or bad to be facing?
Bad to be facing. They're super annoying. But it also means you're not going to be putting pressure on your opponent. So when you reveal your Phoenix, you have revealed that you win a Stargate. You revealed what time you went that Stargate. You reveal where you're spending your gas. You also reveal that you don't have a heavy stalker count. All of these things combined mean you're not going to be attacking me. So I just built a fourth and a macro hatch. We've got roaches and hydras on the way. We've got good 1/1 upgrades on the way as well. Only +1 right now for the Protoss player, and he is not producing upgrades as well. So this is going to become a immortal timing. Had he, sacrificed an immortal for an upgrade, yes, that's good mid-game, long game, but he doesn't want to play that on Whirlwind. He's going to have to use all of his gas to make a Sentry, Stalker, Phoenix, Immortal type play. The Immortals are going to be super vulnerable to Mutalisks. So by opening Phoenixes, he forced his opponent down a Roach Hydra path. Well, Roach Hydra versus Immortal. But he's got 4 minutes or so before he has to worry about it.
Right.
So we're just going to chill.
Well,
Look around for this proxy pylon and see what happens.
it looks like the answer will be Hydralis for the Immortals, I imagine. Hydralis do much better against Immortals than Roaches do.
They do, because they're not armored, which Immortals aren't going to do so well against. But force fields, Immortals come out of Robo Bay. Robo makes Colossi.
Right.
So there's a window. There is a window, a solid, good window, where a timing attack could come from Protoss. But we've got this third already just about done. which makes him even bases with a Zerg player. The Zerg still has not taken a 4th base. By the way, you're lagging.
Yes.
So I don't see a reason for the Protoss to hit a timing. If you are even with with the Zerg player on bases, there's no reason to attack him. He's already behind. So right now, I'd just like to see Quack. I keep wanting to call him something else. We see Quack right now making 2 cannons at his 3rd. He's building a couple extra pylons. He's got most of his army parked there, but it's at a position where it could shift to the natural if it needs to. Now we have Lings running out onto the field. They are going to get a little bit of a scout off while the Roach Hydra just walks in there a little slower. But the Phoenix do scout the attack. I don't think this attack is going to do anything at all.
No, it doesn't look very scary, especially with that photon overcharge going down and those 2 cannons.
Good
Looks
force
like
fields as well.
ooh, some decent force fields there. We'll let the Lings escape, catch 2 roaches.
Yeah, who cares about Lings?
Yeah, and with that, we're probably gonna see Saren take his 4th base, like you were saying, and maybe I wouldn't mind a 5th too much at this point either, really.
Yeah, I agree with that because, I mean, Pink just is not going to move out. He does not want to attack. This 3rd base is very indicative of that. Where Saren has all this army, he needs a reason to use that army. Most people make an army to attack with. Well, if you're forced to make an army, and you attack with it, and you fail, but you keep the army alive, what do? You fall back and you make bases. So like you said, I'd love to see a 5th base.
We are seeing these Phoenixes coming into the 3rd base, just trying to find anything they can do pretty much at this point. Need to watch out for those Hydralisks. Taking a little bit of hull damage there. We'll scout the 4th base. So they're just keeping their eyes out on the map and making sure he's not getting too greedy.
Do Phoenix have eyes?
I think they do, yeah. It's like a single eye. They're like Colossus. But
I thought
like,
that was a cockpit.
no,
Oh.
it's an eye. It's an eye.
I see. Okay. Well, we do have another attack coming. This is an interesting attack, but it leaves this 4th base extremely vulnerable down this path. You could send, some zealots down there.
Storm's finished. Oh no, it's gonna come down on top of these Hydralisks. Needs to be careful. Oh, where are the force fields? Okay, dude, I was so worried for that army there. I'm glad it pulled back. But
Indeed, sir.
if there had been force fields and those storms, that could have been very nasty.
It could have, but in the Zerg defense, he's on 2-2 upgrades.
True. What do you think of the Hydralisk to Roach count in this army? Do you think there should be more Roaches, or is that just me?
No.
No, that's a good amount of Hydralisks.
I wouldn't have made that many out of fear of Colossi,
Right.
but he's up against High Templar, not Colossi. So I like it.
Okay.
The only thing is they're a little bit slow, but so are the Roaches because, I mean, they're Roaches. While they don't move slow, their positioning is slow. They block each other. They're clunky. They're hard to micro. So if you're going to be using a frail composition, get the movement speed against High Templar.
Right.
Don't
okay.
get Hydras against Colossi. Unless there's nothing there to tank for the Colossi, in which case you're just going to rape. You're going to be a duck. Quack, quack, quack.
Speaking of Colossi, there comes the Robotics Bay coming down just after that leg, or that PP ended. And we still haven't seen the 5th base quite yet from Saren. We'll have to wait and see. If-
Saren is playing super safe.
Yeah.
I like the aggression. I love the aggression. I like the Spire that's on the way. I like the 3-3 upgrades. I like the fact that he's making some spine crawlers, but I want more. I want more spine crawlers. I want a more defensive game because this Roach Hydra is completely out of position to defend this 4th. He is being too aggressive for the creep spread that he has. If he had creep spread, as far as he was just out, yeah, that's fine. But it cost him his 4th base. Now his opponent is ahead. And in fact, I think the Protoss is about to push and win this.
Yeah.
I don't think the Zerg has a chance.
We do see some Vipers popping out. There's the storm starting to come down. One just at the front. Time Warp coming down as well. Double Time Warp, and that gets a very nice spot to place some storms. There we go. Just shredding those Hydralisks.
Indeed, sir. And Vipers are really, really strong. However, they don't have much mana right now. There's not enough to really cover this army in blinding clouds.
Ooh.
And he's been force fielded out of his base.
Force fielded, and the
GG.
Vipers were feedbacked. Yeah. Looks like Saren's gonna try and do a counterattack, but the Quack's already in his main base, so I don't think it's gonna work out.
I don't feel like it is either. Hydralisk Den goes down. Evolution Chamber's going down before the upgrades finish. He's about to lose a hive. His infestation pit. Zerg players, let's have a little chit chat. Okay, look at these tech structures. You have Roach Warren, infestation pit, spire, 2 evolution chambers that used to exist just to the right, and a Hydralisk Den just below that. Why put all your tech in one base and not defend that base?
Hmm.
If you want to play sneaky or do some really aggressive stuff, put your tech structures at different bases. That way there's not one base that's more important than others.
Right.
Especially don't put your infestation pit right next to your hive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we have done. Now, there was a third base destruction by Saren. I really like that counterattack. It definitely is helping him get back into this game. The problem is, balance a third base to a hive with all your tech.
Right.
You're set back to the Stone Ages.
He does have a Spire out still. Looks like he's trying to do a couple of Mutalisk play here.
Indeed, he has a Spire. The Spire's right next to a Roach Warren.
Hmm.
Ouch. Again, if that Spire were... Oh, wow. There is a Spire here. I was about to ping that and say that's where the Spire should be. There is a Spire, though. So, that being said, okay, I'm good with it. This is a good situation. He's built the lair. He's got Swarm Hosts. He's got a bunch of Spine Crawlers. So he's gonna secure this, make this his new main.
And it looks like he's pushing up into Quack's natural too at the meantime.
Exactly. This is super play. He has gone from a losing position to a position that has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, he cannot let this army get sandwiched. And here's the Protoss army. So,
Oh, here comes the
he's got to
bread.
turn around. He's trying to get the high ground, but he is so clumped up. He is so clumped up. Archon's going down. Where are the High Templar? High Templar lagging behind a little bit, but they have about 200 energy each.
Oh, those
except that
blinding
one in the far back.
clouds. Oh, those are some very good blinding clouds there at the bottom of that ramp. But here come High Templar, as you were saying. Some good storms coming down. Will it be enough, though? That's the question. Oh, wow, that's a lot of storms, and it looks like it will be enough to clean up this force. However, has Saren done enough to potentially come back in this game?
Well, I'm looking at the banks right now for each individual player. Saren doesn't know this, but his opponent is floating 3,600 minerals and 1,300 gas. So, with a bank of 100 minerals and only 7 Mutalisks worth of gas, I don't see Mutalisks getting him back into this game. He is taking some other bases. It's going to be hard as hell to hold those. You need Spine Crawlers to hold bases. And the problem is, it's not that he's lacking gas, it's that he's lacking minerals.
Right.
He only has 12 workers mining minerals. He has 6 workers mining gas. So if you take a look at the income tab, you are making 3 minerals for every 1 gas. Well, guess what? That's not enough for a Mutalisk composition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Saren.
We are seeing him try anyway. He does have these Swarm Hosts, so he can potentially hold out a little bit longer, but I kind of agree with you. He is in a losing position in the long term, but maybe if we see a miracle, some nice play like we saw earlier on, he could potentially come back. It's still not tapping out.
Yeah. I do want to say this, though. If you are a Zerg player and you ever find yourself in a scenario with a Protoss Death Ball choking you out, counterattacks are the way to get back into the game.
Right.
Counterattacks, rebuild your tech before it dies, and go ahead and choose another main and upgrade a layer. That is how you get back into a game. The reason you go layer, it doesn't matter if you go hive. You don't have the economy for hive because you're both going to lose a base, maybe 2. The game in this 24, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and so on, minute marks, all comes down back to your mid game. Late game devolves into a mid game. Day9 says it all the time, and he's absolutely right. That's why Mutalisks become such a awesome force in the late game, because it devolves to a mid game. Only it's a mid game that's a lot more spread out, a lot more bases, a lot more defense, a lot more nuances, a lot more area to cover. And Protoss is so slow, they have a really hard time covering that area. Now, Protoss cannot attack into the Swarm Host spine crawler position. However, there's not a spore crawler there at all. I mean, there's one in the back, but there should be one up front as well to detect the observers. I feel like Dark Templar could wipe out most of the swarm hosts before the spine crawlers killed them.
Oh no, speaking of those mutalisks though, they did just get pretty much wiped out by a couple of phoenixes. Traded about 8 mutalisks for 3 or so phoenixes. Not a very good trade.
No, definitely not. Mutalisks can get kited by Phoenix, and
Right.
that will hurt the Zerg player. Now, the Zerg is repositioning his spine crawlers. He is not repositioning his spore crawler, though. And again, he needs a spawn crawler with these spine crawlers in order to stay in this. Obviously, he wants to retake another base, probably this one right here. Hence why he is choosing to defend this location. Only the ground army of the Protoss is showing up before the spine crawlers are actually finished. Even if they were finished, there are Colossi, there are 4 Colossi, there are Immortals, there are Stalkers. There is an answer for everything Saren has. All Saren has left to him is a broke pocketbook and a GG.
Yep, and GG it was. I for a second there I actually thought he might come back when we saw that counterattack, but then as you said, the sandwich did happen, and the storms were just way too much.
Indeed, Sarah. And players can always get back because your opponents can always make mistakes. So there's no harm in staying in a game that you think you can win, but you've got to look at the mathematics. When you're playing at this high of a level, you cannot rely on your opponent to make a mistake. Because while, people in the Americas may make mistakes, if this were the GSL, you wouldn't have a chance at all. Koreans don't make mistakes. Or if they do, it's not broad gaping ones that you're going to be able to exploit.
Right.
In this scenario, it's okay to stay because your opponent might actually do that. Unfortunately for Saren, Quack did not do that.
Yep, so we're going to have to wait now and see who LaG will send out next. It is currently 3-1 for LaG, as you can see in the score screen. So they only need one more win to take it.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. I'm going to go ahead and post in the LaG vs sMi chat the results so far. So, how's everyone liking the cast? If there's anything you feel like we could do better to improve your enjoyment of this experience, please don't be hesitate to ask. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We are currently at 21 viewers, not even counting people that we are going to be uploading this to on YouTube or whatnot. Again, if you want to see the VODs because you missed something, check out my YouTube. That is youtube.com/misusedshaft. We have lots of good content up there as well, tutorials, map analyses, anything you would want as a StarCraft player, we've got a resource for it, basically. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I am at the Only Shaft. It should be listed under my name in the loading screen, so please feel free to check that out. And enjoy the interlude because we're waiting on the next players.
Well, yeah, go check that out while you guys are waiting, but we are currently waiting, as I said, on LaG to send out their next player. And who actually do we have left for LaG to potentially send out? We got Believe. Believe is definitely a possibility.
Believe is going to be their ace.
You think? Yeah?
Yeah.
We've already seen Al My Groin, Quack.
Yeah. See, they open with Al My Groin, one of their better players, but Believe is probably their best player that has shown up to this tournament on the current roster. So that's who you hold for your ace, or at least your match 6. But in this scenario, they only have one game left, so Believe may be it. The thing is, they've still got Glitch, who is really, really good. And Al My Groin, if they can take it to Game 7, will have another chance. So they need to field a team that will get them to Game 7.
I guess that would explain some of the setting up the manager tactics that we saw earlier, potentially.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, did Zonix just take your spot? Did you just get ousted as the admin? Oh,
no,
he-
he's their admin. He's for lag.
oh, okay. Gotcha.
No one else, me.